Hi everyone. Hi Sean.
Hey Alexis.
You're Sean Ellis, so I guess I don't have to present you. So I guess the audience know you pretty well.
There might be one out there, so you can still.
But you are the one who coined the term growth hacking.
Yep.
You were the first hire at LogMeIn, Uproar, even Bright.
I was the first marketing hire at LogMeIn and Uproar,
Okay.
and joined in an interim role as the first non-engineer at Dropbox.
Okay.
And Eventbrite, there was actually already
Okay.
a marketer on the team. I worked with him, but look out. So yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of early stage companies that have gone on to do really well.
And I'm just gonna start with a funny question, maybe because I mean, LogMeIn IPO, a pro IPO, Dropbox, the first one to reach like $1 billion in recurring revenue,
Fastest one.
the fastest one.
Yeah.
And my question is just like, are you a real human being?
Yeah, I'm a real lucky human being.
Yeah. Okay. I guess luck is part of the journey.
For sure. I mean, what a marketer can only do is realize the potential of a product, and so a marketer can never get ahead of the potential. So I've been fortunate to get on some products that had a ton of potential.
So you have like one hot topic right now is about so you're doing like a conference here in LA tomorrow, and you also release with and you wrote a book with Morgan Brown, a book called like Hacking Growth.
Yeah.
And just let's talk about this book today.
Sure.
Personally, I love the book. Like I told you already, but
appreciate it, yeah.
I really love the book. It was very detailed, process oriented, and that's something I really like. And there's a lot of example, and that's pretty cool. And so, first of all, congratulations to you and Morgan, because that was very good achievement.
Thanks.
I guess I was not the only one to give you some feedback. What was like the most common feedback you got from that book? What was like the main benefit that people got from that book?
I think people are just really, really happy with it having a lot of substance to it. That there's a lot that's been written about growth hacking, but most of it is pretty hypey, and just highlights a few of the companies that have done well. Talks a little bit about testing, but doesn't really get deep into a testing process and specifically what you need to grow a business. And we wanted to write a book that had a lot of just concrete detail in it, and specific processes to follow, and examples from companies. And even when you're trying to generate ideas around the different levers, we wanted to put useful information around that. And the feedback that we've had from people is that I think we've done a good job with that. That people, what I really like is people who are from outside of the marketing space or even outside of tech, who say there's a ton of useful feedback or useful things I can do with the book to grow my business, or that was in the book. So even my mother said it reminded her a lot of, I didn't expect her to read it. She hasn't been in business where my dad was in business, so I kind of expected him to read the book. But my mom was a nurse, but she's like, so many of the scientific things that we learn in nursing are really similar to this. So
Okay.
It's cool when you see people get excited about applying it in different types of areas.
That's cool. And so, can we talk about a bit about the numbers? Sorry, about the behind the book.
Yeah.
How many copies did you sell?
So that's the interesting thing with the book, is that we didn't price the book as a cheap book. It's a $29 book, and so a lot of the books that sell really quickly are the sub $10, sub $5 books.
Okay.
So at least in the United States, it's a $29 book. In parts of Europe, there's a softcover book already, and that is more affordable. But so we're actually, I didn't get the exact numbers internationally from my publisher, but today my publisher said I've been digging into the international numbers, and they're really happy with the international numbers. So we're published in 10 different countries, and I think the English I'm not sure if the other, or we've sold the rights in 10 different countries. I think it's mostly the English version that's out in different countries right now.
So
but
do you plan like to have like other languages?
Yeah, so we'll have 2 different Chinese languages, Thai. We signed the rights for Russia yesterday. We have Spanish, British. No, just kidding. I think that's the same thing as English. But yeah.
What about French?
I've been pushing France. So the feedback I got from my publisher in France is that the most of the publishers in France are not doing really business books, and so
yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, so there's a ton of demand in France. France has the highest per capita searching for growth hacking of any country in the world. So there's just a lot of interest, but it's and so much of the feedback, if you look on social media, I would say 80 to 90% of the feedback that we're getting on social media is from people outside of North America. So I think that the international interest is really high. In the United States, we're at probably I think about 4,000 copies now, which isn't bad and isn't great. Part of the thing with a book is that you don't have the same feedback loops to iterate on that you have in most other products. So basically with the book, what you do is you do a whole bunch of activities before the book is released, and then you kind of old-fashioned launch it, and then afterwards you just try to keep it out there. But basically, I think what you see with a lot of books is that some of them have really good launches behind them, and I would say our launch was pretty good, but not probably, a lot of times it's writers who don't have jobs, who their full time can be in doing a book launch. And Morgan and me, Morgan's a chief operating officer at a company, I'm the CEO of a company, and we both have our hands full. So we put a lot into it, but I think what I'm most proud of for the book is that we've been able to maintain a good steady flow of sales that is largely, I believe, off of word of mouth. So the reviews on Amazon, every single review is a 5-star except for 1 4-star.
I saw that.
The feedback, and even the 4-star was like, this book is amazing, but they're amazing as a 4-star, so which is fine. I mean, it's more credible than being all 5 stars anyway. And so I think people really genuinely like the book, and that to me is more important than tricking a bunch of people into buying a book that they're disappointed with. And I think that's what's going to give it legs over the long term is people don't want to pay $29 for a hardcover book impulsively. But if somebody says this book is awesome, it changed the way I grow my business, and I'm so much more effective at growth now, $29 is a bargain. And so we really, on a book like this, we need the more organic growth of just really strong word of mouth, and I think we're starting to see great signs of that.
Okay, and did you try, because I mean, even launching a book is kind of like old school in the process. Mm-hmm. Did you try to introduce some like growth hacking into the process at some point? Not
too much, just because you have a very fragmented distribution network for the book, that essentially there's a publisher who gets it into retail, and then on the retail side, I mean, it's really hard to track it. And what we can do is we can use Amazon links, and we're starting to use like some like affiliate type links just for the tracking, and that I think will start to give us more insights into what's working and what's not working. And that was at the suggestion of my publisher, actually, particularly the things that we're doing on growthhackers.com to promote the book, to be able to tie it back. If somebody's just writing a review on the book, of course they're not going to use a tracking link, and so it's you might not be able to know everything doing it that way, but even getting insight into a piece of where the sales are coming from can be pretty useful in knowing should we spend more effort and energy in that area.
But right now you think like the most successful lever has been word of mouth?
But word of mouth has to start somewhere. So I did a ton of podcasts. So I probably did 40 podcast interviews. Whoa. We had, and a lot of that was pre-launch, and so they're still continuing to come out. We had, conferences that I've spoken at. We've had other conferences that have given away the book. We've done a lot of excerpts on pretty high-profile blogs and websites. So like I think it's all of these things. You have to seed the book out there. You can't just rely on word of mouth if nobody reads it. So we're working hard to seed the book out there. But I think all of those things are temporary, and we're not going to be able to sell enough books doing those things to justify the time and effort it takes to do those things, unless the people who read the book love it and spread the word around it. So again, if we were selling a $5 book, I think we could do those things and probably get a lot of people to just buy it, and maybe it's good. It's only $5. I mean, I buy a ton of books when they're cheap enough. Like, I'll just put it down if it's not a good book. But when you get into a more expensive book, I mean, interestingly, our most popular format of the book is the Audible version. So Morgan and I did the reading ourselves on the Audible version. He did the majority of it. I just did the introductory chapter. But that's, that can be even more expensive. I'm not sure I can't remember exactly what the price is.
So that means that people don't like to read.
It's probably like me, is that you spend so much time reading at work that when you have a book, if you can go out and get some exercise, or when you have a long drive, like I had this morning coming up to Los Angeles, being able to listen to a book can actually be a good use of time.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for your answers. So guys, that I was organizing a contest to win that book, and so I have a winner, and so the winner is Frank. So Frank, congratulations! You got the book, and I feel like you will find something in the book that might be written somewhere. So you will find a little note from Sean. So thank you, Sean. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for
congratulations, Frank, and hopefully.
Congratulations, Frank.
And you'll have like a great conference tomorrow. The 18 speakers. I can't wait. So
I'm very excited myself.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's curated for my own needs. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.